Hello, my name is Benjamin Hart. I'm an American attorney and the Managing Director of Integrity Legal here in Bangkok, Thailand. In this video today, we're going to be specifically discussing one particular topic with respect to U.S. passports. To quote directly from an article from the Associated Press, this came out in the Chicago Tribune on the 23rd of November 2017. Headline, U.S. passports to identify child sex offenders. Quoting directly, the State Department said Wednesday it would begin revoking passports of registered child sex offenders and will require them to apply for a new one that carries a quote-unquote unique identifier of their status. Those applying for a passport for the first time will not be issued one without the identifier, which will be a notice printed inside the back cover of the passport book that reads, and I quote, "The bearer was convicted of a sex offense against a minor and is a covered sex offender pursuant to U.S. law." Basically, and we go into some detail about this in another video on this channel, this is essentially a further step in a direction that's basically been undertaken the past roughly 5 to 7 years. Under Department of Homeland Security guidelines, the Homeland Security Investigation Service will rather often, in matters pertaining to registered sex offenders or those with a sex offense conviction on their record, they will go ahead and, at least with respect to the Thai officials, send ahead a notice to Thai immigration before the individual in question even arrives in Thailand, stating that, in fact, someone on an inbound flight with a passport designation of, whatever the passport number is, etc., they'll basically give all the relevant information regarding that individual, and they will go ahead and just inform Thai immigration that, hey, this person is a registered sex offender, has a sex offense on their record from a prior occasion. As a result of this, Thai immigration, at least in most of the situations I've ever seen this occurring, Thai immigration goes ahead and just denies that individual entry to the kingdom. And basically, it's been my experience that those who are trying to enter the kingdom in that way, with such an offense on their record, are basically barred from getting in. Not getting into the details of whether this policy is a good idea or not, this is just simply an informative video, but it should be noted that it clearly, officials in the United States are taking these matters more seriously, and I have to imagine that it looks to me like this passport program of having this unique identifier is basically going to be doing, as a practical matter, what has been done in the past, where Homeland Security Investigations was sending out these notices. Now that individual will just carry that notice with them in their passport. This is a result, would seem to be a result of legislation such as International Megan's Law and some other legislation similar to that. But the net upshot with respect to how this is going to play out in the future is, I think, fairly soon. It's going to be rather, quite frankly, as a practical matter, going to be rather difficult for people with such convictions on their record and those who are actually on the sex offender database to affect it. I think it's going to be rather difficult to travel abroad outside the United States because this designation is very likely, for example, in the case of Thailand, it's virtually certain to result in a bar of entry to the kingdom. Moreover, I think it's probably going to be the case in other countries around the world too. It remains to be seen, but I don't think it is illogical to make that, to infer that.